All right, I'm Caden Kai, and this is Kai Heart Radio. This is going to be my podcast about Daggerheart, period. That's it. It's my new favorite game system, not because it has all the mechanics I want, but because it has enough of them and a big enough following that I could find plenty of players. First of all, you might know me from absolutely nowhere because I'm not that popular. But I'm also on Roll for Opinion with Gabby, and that's on Spotify and YouTube. Just search that up, you can find it. I'm on startplaying.games/KAYDENKAI, and that's where I get paid to run TTRPGs. All right, enough about that. That's not important. Or it is. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyways, this episode is going to be short. I'm going to make them all short. I think my goal is to aim for like 10 minutes of a rant max because let's be honest, who has the attention span now, right? I don't. I don't even have the time. I've got a full time job and a full time hobby that takes up a lot of time. TTRPGs take up hours at a clip. So this one is just about a couple of things that I wish I could have seen from Daggerheart, or I might still get to see in the future. I think adversaries are kind of clunky. They could have been simplified, and there could have been more um, guidance on how to build them. What's the math behind it? Uh, all that good stuff. A bigger peek under the hood and a bigger toolbox for the GM to create with, because it says narrative first and then gives a very crunchy kind of stat block and encounter building tools, which really isn't that bad compared to other systems. I got to be honest, prepping for Daggerheart is way faster for me than it is for D&D, and the combat is still 10 times more satisfying. I will say, even on the most boring can I speak? Can I? Even on the most boring combats, or during the most boring combats I had with Daggerheart, they did not match up with how boring the most boring combats I've had with D&D were. It can get bad, long and drawn out, and everybody just waiting their turn. No, I don't even want to relive it. Anyways, so I wish. All right, let me. Not just what I wish for. I have an idea of what could have made it better, and I could still do it myself if I could ever find the time. I think grab a handful of generic stats for each role, which heartofdaggers.com already has, called stat templates. So for the bruiser, for the solo, for the standard, they have a template of stats. Now I think that should have came out in the core rule book. And with that stat template and role, a couple of abilities that go with those roles, and then a long list of abilities that you could plug into various roles at various tiers, and maybe a point system on how to build it without making it too complex and OP. And then, worst comes to worst, you got a combat, the spur of the moment. You have a generic handful of stat blocks, and you just grab up and flavor them however you want. And they can still be tactical because they still all do a few different things. That would have been made way better than what we got. Not that I don't like what we got. The adversaries are great. And Right Knight's guide to custom adversaries was crucial. I cannot praise it enough. It was one of the best things I bought on Heart of Daggers. Also, what I would like to see is Daring to Press to ease the up on the license, because what I like to do the most is tinker with what I have and have everything all in one place to make it convenient for me to run things at the table. Heart of Daggers has like mostly what I want out of a homebrew builder and kind of VTT ish, but not really VTT. They forego the whole map, but they have everything else you need. They have this, and it's perfect for what I want to do, but when I buy third party content, I can't access it through the homebrew because Darrington Press says that's too much like a VTT. But I can, copy the text from the stat blocks into the homebrew and then kind of tinker with the things that I just bought. But it's more time and it's more annoying when there is a simpler process. I'm just being denied it because somebody feels like they're losing money. And that's I guess that's the goal of having a business, to make as much money as you can. I get it. But I think it also hurts the business when third party creators get denied the ability to do more with their creations. And it kind of when you're hindering such a popular flat platform, I can't talk tonight. When you're hindering such a popular platform, it it's gonna hinder the game in general. So I think they just ease up on the license, come up with a whole new license, forget about whitelisting VTTs. Just let everybody have at it. Don't give away your game for free. I'm saying, but make your books, allow everybody to build how they want with the, the errata, the SRD, and let the community flourish. I think that's it. Hmm. There was something else I wanted to add. Forget it, man. Must not have been that important. See you guys in the next episode.